Hey, I have a disability. Can you see it? I'm Harriet, by the way, and I'm 15. Have you found it yet? No? How about now? Because if you can't see it, then you're right. Because you can't see my disability. But I still have one. I wanted to tell you my story because my invisible disability used to make me angry, as I was so sick of the way some people treated me just because they can't see it. If I hear, "Well, you don't look sick to me," one more time, I might just scream. So first, let's start with what my invisible disability is. Well, I have something called Crohn's disease, which makes my digestive system inflamed. If I eat the wrong foods, I might get painful stomach cramps, vomit, or get diarrhea without much notice. Sometimes I've needed to go to the toilet about 25 times a day. Yeah, you heard that right. Can you imagine having to go to the toilet 25 times a day? Having to go when you're in the middle of a test or a family dinner? Or at the cinema with friends? It has been hard. Really hard. But before that, I want to tell you how I found out I had Crohn's disease. About a year ago, I got majorly stressed about my schoolwork. I couldn't keep up with the class and was having all these extra lessons after school. So I felt like all I was doing was schoolwork, then sleep. Schoolwork, then sleep. Ugh. Anyway, it was around then that I started to get stomach cramps. At first, I was like, whatevs. I figured it would go away. But it didn't. I noticed it happened after I ate, so I didn't eat as much. Well, of course my mom noticed when I lost weight and took me to the doctors. Ugh. I felt like I was wasting everyone's time. I said I was super stressed about school and it was probably that. I promised to eat better, drink more water. Mom even took away the extra classes so I would have more time to relax. But it didn't make any difference. And it went on for weeks, then months. The pain got so bad that sometimes I couldn't get out of bed. And the last thing I wanted to do was study or do homework. I started to miss school and my mom took me straight back to the doctors. Finally, they found out I had Crohn's disease. It was such a relief to get a proper diagnosis. Unfortunately, Crohn's disease isn't curable, but it can be eased with medication and the right diet plan, and sometimes surgery can help too. I was determined not to let Crohn's disease rule my life, not to let it define who I was. But it was other people's judgments that made that difficult for me. At school, the teacher announced to the class that I had a restroom problem, so I didn't have to put my hand up to use the restroom like everybody else. I could just go whenever I wanted. You can only imagine how that went down. And I have to miss sports a lot. And whilst my friends and most of the class are supportive, I still get the "you don't look ill to me. It's just an excuse to get out of sports" comments from others. And I have to miss some of the more remote field trips because there are never any toilets around. It's not fun when you have to run to the toilet a million times in the middle of a film. So, I stopped hanging out with my friends. And surprisingly, there isn't always public bathrooms, so if I do need the toilet suddenly, I have to queue to buy something in a cafe and pray it's not too busy. And even when I do finally find a halo-wearing angel winged toilet, I get hassled and verbal abuse. Why? Well, I'm registered disabled and am entitled to use the disabled toilets. I need them for more privacy and comfort that actually reduces my stress levels. Too regularly, when I go to enter the disabled toilet or leave it, someone shoots me a disgusted look. Or worse, make a comment. It's horrible. Stuff like, "You look healthy enough to me. The toilet is for people who really need it. And there's nothing wrong with you." Ugh! And I get so angry. Mind your own business. How dare you? And shut up. I felt I had a right to be angry. Why did I have to go through all this? It wasn't fair. Sometimes I felt really alone and that most people just
didn't care or even try and understand what I might be going through. I hated having Crohn's disease. It was so draining, constantly watching what I ate, having to plan my life around toilets. But then, something happened which changed everything. I was coming out of a disabled toilet in a public toilet when I heard a woman say, "You don't look sick. What's your excuse?" That was it. I saw red and turned to face her, but to my shock, she wasn't talking to me, but another girl. She had just come out of another disabled toilet. And the girl wasn't angry at all, but so calm. She told the woman that she was sorry that she felt the need to voice her opinion so bluntly, but she did not appreciate being victim blamed. Actually, yes, she did have a disability. And the woman started looking the girl up and down, insisting that she couldn't see anything wrong with her, and that she should be ashamed of herself for taking advantage of those less fortunate. And still, the girl remained calm, but confident. She told the woman that she'd love to talk to her about her disability and raise awareness about it. I'd never met anyone who had an invisible disability too. She told the woman about her celiac disease, where, like me, she needed to use the toilet and couldn't always wait in a queue. The woman even apologized, and afterwards, I couldn't wait to talk to the girl. Well, Renee. We chatted for hours and she changed my life. From then on, I decided never to get angry about people's reactions, but to try and see it as an opportunity to raise awareness and understanding. I can't always stop and chat a long time like Renee did. With super annoying people, I just say, "Crohn's disease, look it up," and walk off. Renee even told me about a support group for those with invisible disabilities. I met so many people, I heard so many stories, and there were so many that had exactly the same experiences as me. Getting angry didn't get me anywhere, and only made me feel worse. I wanted a healthier and happier relationship with my Crohn's disease, and I was so grateful that I crossed paths with Renee. So the next time you see someone that you think doesn't look sick, go into a disabled toilet or ask for a seat on public transport, please know that just because you can't see their disability, it doesn't mean it's not there. Thanks so much for listening to my story, and do let me know about your own invisible disability experiences. I'd love to read all about them. And remember, you are not alone and your disability does not and will not define you. Lots of love sent. Bye.